Very good. Excellent. Wow. I'm so happy that you all became so sincere. I'm amazed. Yeah, very good, very good. Become an instrument in God's hand. Okay? Very good. Do your best and leave the rest to God. Just
Don't
work as an instrument in the hand of God.
don't attach to results. Just do it. Like work is reward, not the result.
Work itself is reward. Very good. Yeah.
Not
Nice points. Work itself is reward. Yeah. Don't don't be attached to the results. Whether success or failure, don't be attached to the result and consider work itself as a reward. Work itself as a reward. Okay? Because there are many people who don't get opportunity to work. You see many people who don't get opportunity to work or to do what you are actually doing. We are doing so many things, so many nice things. There are many people in the world who do not have this opportunity of working. So consider work as a privilege. Do not consider work as a mechanical stuff. Consider work itself as a privilege. Okay, work itself is rewarding. Okay, what else?
whatever may be the result, don't give up the work. You have to do the work.
Whatever
whether
may be the result, success or failure, do not give up. Yes.
and
Okay.
avoid false renunciation.
Huh?
Avoid false renunciation.
Avoid false renunciation. Very good. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
Performing our work, we should not think about about the results. We have to perform the work in the 100%. We will get this one. That's what we have to work. We should not think about that. We should only work. Only
Yes.
focus on work.
Yeah.
Think about the result and only 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the five senses, all the things should be in the work. Not think about the results. Then only have to work.
Yes.
Only work.
Yeah. Just focus on your work. Okay. Do not worry about the result. Just
Don't think that you are not the. Don't think that you are not the cause of the work.
do not consider yourself the cause of
You
the
are
work.
the work.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
5 factors. You said
We discussed 5 factors. Yeah.
Adhishtanam, karta,
Adhishtanam tada karta karanam cha pritak vidaha.
chestas,
Adhishtanam tada karta karanam cha pritak vidaha vividascha pritak chesta daivam chaivatra panchamam. Okay, this is a shloka from 18th chapter where Krishna tells what are the 5 things or 5 factors that are involved in performing any work. Adhishtanam. So Sarita, do you remember those 5 factors?
Adhishtanam, karta, karanam, chestam, daivam. Adhishtanam means place, like
Yes.
where we are. That karta means he is the doer, he will do everything.
Yeah.
Karanam means we are the instrument.
Body.
Karanam means
The place where the action takes place.
Karanam means instrument.
Karanam is instruments, the 5 senses.
Yeah.
5 senses basically. Yeah.
Chesta means I think different works like endeavors.
Different endeavors. Yeah, very good.
Daivam means God.
Yeah.
Finally, God.
Excellent. Yeah. One more big round of applause to Sarita. Wow, amazing. Swati, how are you?
Pranam Prabhuji, Pranam, all good Prabhuji, all good. Yes.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Aparna, Rahul, how are you?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'm doing good.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Were you there in the last class, Aparna? When we discussed it?
No, last class I was not able to come, Prabhuji,
Okay,
but
Oh, Hare Krishna. Welcome back. Welcome back. Wow. We have a new joinee. Very good. Okay, let's welcome them with 3 big Hari Bols. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
What is happening?
His name is Dhruv, right?
Yeah.
Dhruv, yeah. Hey Dhruv, welcome. Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj came. So Aparna, Swati, Rahul, your old friend Madhuri, she came with a baby now.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Start
Madhuri.
already.
Yeah.
I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'm driving.
You're driving, okay. Yeah, very good. Ah, wow, he started he started speaking.
He's crawling already.
He's crawling already? Okay.
He's telling, I already heard this voice somewhere.
Yeah, you're right.
If I leave you here, he'll crawl up to you.
Ah. Ma. So he's what, 8 months now? 6 months.
He'll be, this August 7th, he'll be 6 months.
Okay. Good.
Prabhuji, possible show the baby.
Baby, yeah. So,
Actually, he'll walk up there and crawl up there. So many faces suddenly.
yeah, he's confused. How come there are so many people? Every day I see only my mom and dad. How come there are so many people today? Hi.
So cute.
Yeah. Dhruv.
He's not seeing any familiar yet. But too many options. Yeah, too many to choose. Yeah, he's ready.
Here. So what did he touch during Annaprasana?
Gold.
Gold, huh? Very good. Good.
He didn't even go near the books.
Okay.
Bhagavad Gita and everything.
Because he knows
We
that.
had to call him. We had to show him only the books to.
Because he knows that my mom already knows and everything. Why should I go to books? Let me go to the gold. My mom knows Mahabharata, Ramayana, everything.
Hopefully he listens to it.
So Prashant, how is life? Okay. Yeah.
So people say that if you have a comfortable newborn, or if your life is comfortable with newborn,
Yeah.
you will feel the effects during the toddler stage.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wondering. I at least at this point I feel like I'm comfortable. So I'm wondering what's going to come during the
What's
toddler
coming up
stage.
now? Huh?
I'm actually worried.
So far it's been smooth.
Yeah. At nights he's able to sleep throughout the night actually.
Yeah.
There are only 1 or 2 odd days where he gets up in the night, but other than that he's been comfortable. So whenever I talk to some people who are also kind of going to this new work, they say like, "Oh, you are lucky because you are able to sleep through the night."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Then this is comfortable for me, so I'm looking forward to what's going to happen during the toddler stage.
Yeah. Every phase is a new phase, and you'll enjoy every phase. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so any other summary points from previous class?
Supreme God means you said 5 qualities. I didn't remember that 5 qualities, but
What is that?
Supreme God means you said 5 qualities like creator.
Yeah, Supreme Creator, Supreme Proprietor, Supreme controller, supreme enjoyer. Okay, and supreme maintainer also. Yeah.
To liberate ourselves, we have to do nishkam, and we have to do towards the God instead of to ourselves. Otherwise, we will be in the cycle of the karma.
Yes. Yeah. That's the reason why we should. Why we should perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. So we discussed the 3 types of karma: karma, akarma, vikarma. So karma, akarma, both are karma, vikarma, both are binding. Karma is basically good karma or sakama. Okay, and vikarma is papa karma. So anything that's prohibited in the scriptures, if you perform that, you will incur sinful reactions. Okay. So both punya karma and papa karma are binding. They'll keep you in the material world. You have to take birth to enjoy the results from punya karma. You have to take birth to suffer from the results of papa karma. Okay. But we should perform only akarma, that is not binding. Akarma basically means inaction. Even though you are performing an action, but it is actually as if you are not doing anything, because you are working for Krishna, you are working for God, you are offering the results of your work to God. That is akarma. Akarma can also means complete inaction, no action at all. Okay. Yeah, that's why Krishna says mate sangos akarmani. The 4th component of this sloka, mate sangos tvakarmani. Do not be attached to not doing your work. Okay. So now here it says, do your best and Lord does the rest. Or do your best and leave the rest to God, right? So why we should leave the rest to God?
Not attached to the results.
Hmm?
We should not attach to the results.
We should not be attached to the results. Okay.
To avoid disappointment.
To avoid disappointment. Okay.
Don't have any. God knows what to give and what not to give. What is there in your personal company?
Yes, very good. The main reason why we should leave the rest to God is because God knows the best. You do your best, leave the rest to God because God knows the best. That's the reason. So we should not be attached to the results. That's why we should leave to the God, and we should avoid. We should leave the rest to God to avoid disappointment. They're all good reasons, but the main reason why we should leave that remaining 1% or 10% to God is because God knows the best. God knows the best. Whether to give success or failure to us, and how much success and how much failure to give us, God knows the best. He has a plan for everybody. Okay? Yeah.
You will escape from the subtle body also.
No, the soul will leave this gross body, and along with the soul, subtle body also travels.
Travels ahead when we got liberations, like when we get liberation, then subtle body also escapes, right? We are not free from the karma, man, all what is it, will be escaping from.
Yeah, subtle body is always part of soul. Yeah.
Okay, but when we achieve God, like we will realize God, Atma relation.
Yes.
Then the subtle body also will be, right?
No. Subtle body will be there with the soul. Yeah. 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 So see, right now, when the soul transmigrates from one body to another body in the material life, the soul carries impressions of this life to the next life through the subtle body, and most of the times the impressions are miserable, because the life in material world is very, very miserable. So whatever impressions that are carried forward to the next life via subtle body, they are all miserable. But finally, when you get liberation or when you achieve perfection in bhakti, then the impressions in the subtle body, they are not miserable. Just like how the soul is completely purified, soul is completely ridden of all the conditions of the material world. Similarly, the subtle body is also ridden of all the conditions in the material world, all the conditions in the impressions of the material world. Yeah. Because soul, subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So in the material world, when the soul is engaged in the material body, it is false ego, which is part of the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Now, when purification happens and then the soul goes back to spiritual world, that false ego becomes ego. Ego is good. Ego is good ego only. Generally, when we say ego means people think it's bad, right? But ego is good. Ego is basically identity, your own identity, your swadharma. Okay? So this false ego becomes ego. Okay?
So, Prabhuji, one question related to last time.
Yeah.
So, what about choices? Like in life, we have choices as well.
Yeah.
So, should we exercise choices, or should we think like no, because as you said, like because God knows best, that's why this might have come to you.
Yeah.
So, should we ever exercise the choice of doing or not doing something, or we should just do without thinking?
No, you always have choice. You have choice in the material world and also in the spiritual world.
So, but one side we are saying let's do whatever comes, like just do it without thinking because God knows best,
Yeah.
right? Or we should put our intelligence there and decide whether to do or not.
Yes, we have to use our intelligence to discriminate between good and bad. Okay? You should not blindly do whatever is asked to do or whatever comes your way, right? Use your intelligence to discriminate between good and bad. That's why the concept of karma, karma, vikarma. So you should discriminate between karma and vikarma. And again, you should discriminate between karma, vikarma versus akarma. You should try to do akarma as much as possible. And
but within a karma, we don't have to like decide something like. Yes, I'm not doing something bad, but between two good things also I have a choice to do X, Y.
yeah,
Should I choose or should I just do whatever?
you have to choose. That's why the choices are there. Yeah, that's why the choices, free will. Wherever there is love, there are choices. There is free will. There is freedom. Yeah. Otherwise, it's like dictatorship, right? So Krishna is not dictating. After speaking all the 700 slokas in Bhagavad Gita, in the end, Krishna said, Yadechasi tada kuru. Now you do whatever you want. Krishna did not say, just do whatever I say. So he gave the choice to Arjuna. So the choices are there in every walk of our life. Okay. So even, for example, you take an example of, let's say somebody has to eat breakfast, right? They are offered idli and vada. There are two choices. Now let's say there are no two choices. There are no two options, idli and vada. There is only idli. Still there is a choice. Eat or not.
That's where I was coming. Like, then should we just eat because it is there?
Or eat both.
Do not shy away from eating.
If you like it, you eat. Otherwise, you don't eat.
Okay, so it will not be a karma there.
Yeah. So for example, if somebody gives me raita, it's a clear decision. I will not eat. If somebody gives me gulab jamun, it's a clear decision. I will eat.
Based on the nature of the person, on what they like or dislike.
Yes. Yeah.
So it will not be
Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam gunakarma vibhagachaha. Krishna said, I created these 4 divisions in the society based on the qualities and the attitude of the person. So based on your attitude, you are inclined to do certain type of activities. So it all comes with choices. So you make choices. What type of work you like, whether you like preaching or you like doing aarti in the temple, or you like doing some menial services. So you make choices.
So in this case, say, if Arjun would have chosen not to fight, would that been counted as his akarmandata or
Vikarma.
vikarma?
Yeah.
It's not a karma.
No. Yeah. That's why Krishna says, Mate sangost akarmani. That means do not be attached to not performing your duty. Yeah.
prescribed duties also, it's very difficult to understand, to prioritize. It's like sometimes like 4 works are there,
Yeah.
4 are feel like important. It's like based on what type of thing factor we can put is take the decision which is important. Sometimes office, have children and the work in kitchen.
Yeah.
In that way, which like based on the time, how we can like understand ourselves, analyze ourselves to prioritize the things. So we are it's
So-
very difficult sometimes to understand this prioritizing.
Yeah.
Because everybody has to give equal importance sometimes.
Yeah.
How in that way.
Yeah. So generally, for mothers, children are the top priority. Children are the top priority. So if you have to take care of your children, you can even give up your work to take care of the children. If you look at the Vedic time, right, the ancient times, women were not going out and working. They were taking care of the children and the family nicely, and they were more happier that way. So let the husbands do all the hard work and deal with all the issues at work, and wives, they take care of the home. So you're working, or yeah, you're working. Okay. I thought of giving some example of who is not working. Oh, yeah.
Me,
You're
Prabhu.
not, yes. see, she's always, Sri Lakshmi is always smiling and happy. Mirror work చేయట్లే కదా? Yeah, she's always smiling inside.
Me also.
Yeah.
Me.
You're also, yes, Sarita. See, how nicely she's finding time, to meditate on what is learned in the class, and she's able to reproduce because she's not working. So yeah, if you have to prioritize between these multiple things, there are children in one of those lists. Definitely for mothers, children are the priority. In fact, Prabhupada said this was a instruction to one of the ladies, because when you start becoming serious, you need to chant 16 rounds, right? So one time there was a lady who was struggling to chant 16 rounds every day because she has, just like Dhruv, a newborn baby. And then she went to Prabhupada and asked, Prabhupada, I'm not able to chant 16 rounds because my baby is very, very young. Prabhupada said, take care of the baby. You can chant later. So Prabhupada said, and also health. If somebody has to take care of health comes before chanting. Health is more important than chanting. Yeah. That's what Prabhupada said. If you have to take care of your health, focus on health. Chanting you can do later. When you are healthy, you can chant later. So health, family, children, they are top priority. Then other prescribed duties or even devotional service, they come later. Yeah. Because if you don't prioritize these important things like children and family, then the whole thing will be disturbed. Okay, there'll be disharmony in the family. There'll be disharmony in the society. We will not set a good example. Okay, so when you take care of these things first, then you can focus on other things, prescribed duties or devotional service.
But there is no limit for those works, Prabhuji. They are coming. I how to manage that I don't know, but there is no end, Prabhuji. From morning to night.
So sometimes you take turns. You take turns. And I think this is one of the reasons, right, why women want to go out and work. Because as Harita said, from morning 9 to till night 9 o'clock, there's so much to do at work, and the same thing again and again, same repeated work. It feels boring. That's why they want to go out and, as a break, they want to go out and work. Uh, yeah. But remember the four things: absorption, awareness, attention. Three things basically. So awareness. If you know why you are working, or if you know why you are doing what you are doing, then you can do better. Then you can. Huh? Yes, very good. You will feel motivated. Otherwise, that work will become mechanical. It will become like routine work. You will not feel motivated. You want to do something else. You want to do something new. You want to go into the corporate world and start working. And then very soon you will realize that is also not giving happiness to you. But if you know that taking care of the children and taking care of the family is nothing but a devotional activity, then you will feel motivated. So awareness, this is awareness. So awareness, absorption, and attention. So attention, just like a mother gives full attention to the baby's needs, so one has to do any work with full attention. Yeah. So I think this is the missing piece in the puzzle. For many people, this is the missing piece in the puzzle. The missing piece is that people think that just taking care of the house and taking care of children, doing cleaning the same house every day. The husband messes up every day and I have to clean up every day. I have to take care of the children. It's the same boring routine work. And then they want to do something else. They want to hire nannies, babies, and give the children to the nannies and babies, and they want to work for the corporate work people. So the missing piece in the puzzle is that they do not know that that whatever the household work or taking care of the children, it is actually devotional activity. Because who is that child? Dhruv is the child of Krishna. So when you are taking care of Dhruv, that means you are taking care of Krishna's children. It's a devotional service. It's a devotional service. And by nurturing Dhruv very nicely, you are giving an environment which is conducive for Dhruv to perform bhakti. If you are leaving Dhruv to nanny or daycare, right? Then you are not giving that opportunity to Dhruv to provide a conducive environment to grow in devotional service. So I mean, when it is a time to go to elementary school, he has to go. But at least in the initial few years, the initial first 5 years, the Vedas say first 5 years you have to pamper the children. No matter how much, Prashant, no matter how much hard time they give, you have to pamper them. Then from 5th year onwards, they can start performing devotional service. They can start hearing Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata. Kaumara acharyet prajno dharman bhagavataniha durlabam manusham jarma tadapyartadam adruvam. Prahlad Maharaj said that one has to perform devotional service from a tender age of 5 years. Now how a child can perform devotional service from the age of 5? Only when the parents provide an environment like that. That's why children are the first. Children are the top priority. Yeah, if you have to give up your work and take care of children, that's a priority. Yeah. Okay. So let's do a recap of what we learned and then try to finish this section. Okay. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन Ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangostva karmani. Okay, Madhuri, can you read the translation?
You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty.
Okay, so we discussed the four aspects of this shloka, four components or four parts of this shloka. First one is karmanye vadikaraste. You have a right to perform your work. Ma phaleshu kadachana. You have no right to the results. Ma karma phala heturbhur. You are not the cause of the work. Mate sangostva karmani. Do not give up your work or do not be attached to not performing your work. Okay. We already discussed this. Karmanye vadikaraste, you have a right to perform your work. The three types of work, karma, karma, vikarma, and do your best with full concentration. And the three aspects of concentration, attention, absorption, awareness. Next, art of working, ma phaleshu kadachana, second part. You have no right on the results. So, Jatayu, we discussed the example of Jatayu. That Jatayu knows that he cannot win the battle. You know, when he was trying to stop Ravana from taking Sita Devi away, he knows that he cannot compete with Ravana and win the battle. But still, Jatayu continued. Jatayu attempted to stop Ravana, and in the end, Jatayu got the mercy of Lord Ramchandra, and Lord Ramchandra did the final rites by himself, and Jatayu went to spiritual world. Okay. Ma karma phala heturbhur. You are not the cause of the work. There are 5 factors needed to complete any work. We discussed this also. And the picture that's shown here is, it shows the 3 modes. The 3 ladies, they are like 3 modes: Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna. They are like ropes, which influence you to perform any work. Any work that we perform in this material world, it's under the influence of the 3 modes of material nature, the gunas, the 3 guna. Okay, so anything that we do, it's only under the influence of the 3 modes. In chapter 18, Krishna describes how the same activity, you take any activity, for example, charity, okay? How charity can be done in the mode of passion, how charity can be done in the mode of ignorance, how charity can be done in the mode of goodness. And depending on the mode that you are performing the same activity, the results will vary. If you are performing in mode of goodness, the result is certain type. If you are performing the activity in mode of passion or ignorance, the result will be different. Okay? So Krishna describes that in 18th chapter. And the 5 factors are adhishtanam, tada karta, karanam cha pratak vidaha, vividascha pratak chesta, daivam chaivatra panchamam. There are 5 factors. Okay? Now, what happens if you consider yourself as the previous one is so you have no right on the results, right? You can perform your work, you have a right to perform your work, but you cannot claim the results. So if you are attached to the results, or if you are claiming the results, then you are saying that you are the cause of the work. Then you are saying that you are the cause of the work. Okay, I have done this work, that's why I am entitled to the results of the work. That's why in the next component, Krishna says, Ma karma phala heturbhur. Never consider yourself the cause of the work. Finally, Mate sangos tvakarmani. Do not give up your work. Avoid false renunciation. Become an instrument as per God's will. Okay, in chapter 11, Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga, when Krishna shows Vishwarupa the universal form, and then the fearful Kala Rupa. Krishna shows all the Kauravas getting killed. They are entering into Krishna's mouth just like fireflies. And Krishna tells Arjuna that I have already killed all these Kauravas. Okay? The result is already done. Result is already achieved. Now you just perform the work. Okay? How nice would it be, huh? How nice would it be for us to get things like this? Somebody performing everything and you just have to act. You just have to act. That's what Krishna said. You just act. You just act as if you are working and take all the credit. And take all the credit.
Act with the attention, absorption.
Huh?
Awareness, like act with the attention.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't
Yes. Act as if you have absorption. Act as if you have awareness. Act as if you have attention. Huh? Yes, like Kamala Hassan. So, tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrum bhungshva rajyam prasiddha samruddham mayevaite vihata purvameva nimitta matram bhavasavya sachi. So Krishna says in chapter 11 that I have already killed all these people. Now you just become an instrument. Nimitta matram. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachi. Okay. Now we also discussed work is meant to purify the mind. So now purification of the mind involves getting rid of doership, proprietorship, controllership and enjoyership. So we discussed this also, right, last week. That whenever we do anything, if we get success, we say that I have done it, I have achieved it. It's only because of me there is success. But if there's a failure, then you put the blame on others. If there's a team of people who are working, you always try to put the blame on others. If it is success, you want to show off and you want to take all the credit and get some performance bonus. Proprietorship. So you want, even though you don't own anything, but you want to become a proprietor. In material world, we have not created anything. Unless you have created anything, how can you be a proprietor? How can you be the owner? The earth, water, fire, air, ether, we have not created. This body, we have not created. The trees, we have not created. We have not created anything. So, now let's say there's a construction worker who is provided with some ingredients, some material, the raw material, cement, bricks and mud and everything. So the owner has given the owner bought all the material and given the material to the worker to build something. Now the worker, he starts building the building, and then after building the building, can he claim that this building is mine? Just because he has done the work, he cannot claim the proprietorship. The owner will come and kill him. So, because the building belongs to, the building and the material belongs to the owner. So here everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is the owner. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Krishna tells in chapter 5, Sloka number 29, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Bhoktaram means I am the enjoyer. I am the Bhokta. When you are offering grains in the fire sacrifice, who are you offering the grains to? Vishnu. Vishnu or Krishna, okay? More specifically, it is Vishnu. The fire is considered as mouth of Vishnu. So when you are offering grains in the fire sacrifice, the homam, you are actually feeding Vishnu. Just like how Madhuri feeds Dhruv, you are actually feeding Vishnu. Okay? So, Bhoktaram, he is the Bhokta. And Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, he is the proprietor of all the worlds. He is the proprietor of all the worlds. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Okay? So we have to purify our mind and get rid of this mentality, doership, proprietorship, controllership and enjoyership. Okay? Because the root cause of our suffering is this mentality that I am the karta, I am the bhokta, I am everything. This is the root cause of our suffering. So when we get rid of these mentalities, doership mentality, proprietorship, controllership, and enjoyership mentality, then you will not suffer.
Prabhuji, why this I came to us, it's like because of the society or because of the family, it's like that I fact come to over us because we are not educated at that. Now we are in Krishna courses, you are telling, so we come to know about this, all in Krishna.
Yeah.
But how to get rid of that is to educate the children also.
Yeah.
How that, because everybody is like I, because
Mhm.
we are doing it for that. So how to remove that, educate our children also.
Yeah.
It's very difficult because they always feel I am doing.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's why whenever you are doing any work, you should have a attitude that you are working for Krishna and offer the results of your work to Krishna. That's why if you see all the pujas, right? After performing the puja for 40 minutes, after reciting so many mantras, what do they do in the end? Om Tat Sat is one mantra saying that I'm offering everything to the Lord. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. And what else? The very famous Kayena Vacha. Kayena Vacha Manasendriya Buddhyatmana Va Prakriti Svabhavat Karomi Yadhyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayati Samarpayami Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodaram Janaki Vallabham Ramajan Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare. It's there in the blood, huh? This arati is in the blood of all Telugu, Tamil, and Maharashtra, of course. so that's why in all the pujas, in the end, they offer the results to Krishna. Now, when you are working in the corporate world, now you cannot write in the last line of your code. You cannot write Om Tat Sat. You cannot write Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Then you are also Tatsat.
That's But in your mind, you can say, you can develop this habit actually every day when you are finishing your work. You can develop this habit of saying Om Tat Sat, Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Oh Krishna, I am doing this work to maintain my body, to maintain my family, so that we can perform bhakti. Okay? It's very difficult because right now we have conditioning that's accumulated from millions of lifetimes. It's very huge. The baggage is very huge. It will not go away in one lifetime. I mean, for a sincere sadhaka, it can go away in one lifetime, but it takes few lifetimes to understand this philosophy very nicely, to practice this and get some realization. It takes time. It's a gradual process. That's why remember, I think last week only, right? We discussed, no, not in this class, in my other class in Bellevue. So in every walk of our life, we have to be conscious. We have to be conscious of what we are doing and why we are doing. Every walk of our life. It's like meditation. It's like meditation. It's like meditation. That is what absorption, right? Absorption means meditation. You are focused on Krishna all the time. Whether you are at work, at home, or you are walking on the street, you are driving, you should be in meditative mood all the time. Either you can, and certain things that can help you become aware of Krishna. See, when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, when we are studying Bhagavad Gita, when you are actually chanting on your beads, when you are going to the temple, then it's easy to remember Krishna. But otherwise, when you're actually working, it's easy to forget Krishna. So it's an art. It's an art to remember Krishna. In later Sloka 2.50, which is also about the art of working, Krishna says, Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ube sukrita duskrute tasmat yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. Krishna says, Buddhi yukto jahatiha. Engage your intelligence in working. Buddhi yukto jahatiha. Buddhi means intelligence. Abhishek asked earlier, right? So do we have to work or can we give up work? So we use your intelligence to decide whether you have to work or not and which type of work you need to take up. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ube sukruta duskruti. Ube means two. Sukruti, duskruti. Good or bad. In both good and bad, the result can be good or bad, but use your intelligence to work. Buddhi yukto jahatikha ube sukrita duskrute tasmat yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. Tasmat yogaya yujyasva. That means work in the form of yoga. Perform your work like yoga. Yoga means what? To connect with Krishna. That's the actual meaning of yoga. Yoga comes from the root word yuj. It comes from the root word yuj. And the meaning of the root word yuj in Sanskrit means to link, to join, to connect. To connect with God. Yoga means to connect with God. So Krishna is saying, Tasmat yogaya yujyasva. Perform your work like yoga. Perform your work to connect with God. And how? Yoga karmasu kaushalam. This is the art of working. So how to perform your work to connect with God and how to meditate on God while you're working, it's an art. There's no science. There's no ABCD, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That is what art means, right? Science means there is a process. There is a step-by-step process. You follow the step-by-step process and it also tells what kind of result you will get. But art means there is no step-by-step procedure. What works for Venkatesh may not work for, another person. So you need to figure out what works for you. How you can meditate, how you can include Krishna in what you are doing. So Bhakti is all about continuing doing whatever you are doing, just including Krishna. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to change your, work. You don't have to change your place. You don't have to change, anything. Just add Krishna in your life. That's the process. Just add Krishna is the process. But how to add Krishna is the art. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. So, now what exactly is this art? That's the topic, right? Art of working. Actually, let's go to that shloka also so that we can finish that shloka also. We'll come back to 48 and 49. But since we are on this topic, art of working. So this is the shloka. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ube sukruta duskrute tasmat yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. Kaushalam means art. Sanskrit word kaushalam means art. Okay, Annapurna, can you read the translation?
A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reaction, even in the life, therefore, yoga. Strive for yoga, and which is the art of all work.
Which is the art of all work. Okay, yeah, go ahead and read the purport also.
Says the innumerable, each living entity has accumulated the various reactions of his good and bad work. As such, he is one's ignorance can be removed by the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, which teaches us one of to surrender unto God, Lord Shri Krishna in all respects and become liberated from the pained victimization of the action and reaction. Birth after birth, Arjuna is therefore advised to act in Krishna's consciousness, the purifying process of resultant action.
Action. Yeah. So, yeah, so basically here Krishna is saying that whether success or failure, good or bad reaction from any of your work, be equipoised and work in Krishna consciousness. Work in Krishna consciousness. Now, sometimes when you have to make a choice to work, right? And if you think the result of the work will be a failure, still you have to work. Jatayu example, right? Jatayu knows beforehand only what will be the result of his work. The result of his work will be a failure only. He'll not be able to win the battle with Ravana. But still, he continued fighting with Ravana. So sometimes when we are making choices, right? So our mind only wants to choose that type of work which gives me success. But sometimes we have to, in this shloka, Krishna is saying that whether good or bad reaction, the result can be good or bad. Ube sukruta dushkruti tasmat yogaya yujyasva. But you work like yoga. You work in Krishna consciousness. Then you will not have any problem. Even if it is a failure, it's not a problem. Even if it is a failure, it's a success. So our definition of success and failure is different. But the definition of success and failure in Krishna consciousness, both are success actually. In Krishna consciousness, both success and failure, both are success. If you are working for Krishna. If you are Jatayu, if he has won the battle, it's a success. And even a failure is also success, right? Because Lord Ramachandra performed the last rites for Jatayu and Jatayu went to spiritual world. So both success and failure, both are success only. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm not too away from the topic of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the current contract world, right, like, we have to show our work.
Yeah.
In the sense that,
You have to perform.
we have to perform and we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, in that process, if we are thinking, okay, whatever we have done is in the name of Krishna.
Yeah.
We have performed our duty, and that should be good.
Yes.
But that might not be because there will be other colleagues or other people in
Yeah.
the company who does their work and show they talk about it.
Yes.
That would propagate better.
Yeah.
And they would get the results.
Yeah.
Results rewards.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
And some people take credit as
Yeah.
well for our work. If we
Yeah.
talk about it. And
Yeah.
that kind of thing can happen.
Yes.
So most of the stress that comes from is that
Yeah.
than performing the work itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even though we don't have to get reward or something, we are looking for some kind of reward.
Mm-hmm.
The management thinks that okay, we have not performed enough.
Yeah.
Or they force. They keep stressing us to perform more.
Yeah.
Irrespective of our situation, whatever we are.
Mm-hmm.
They there's a saying that when they expect moms to work like there are no children, and they expect people to the people expect more corporate working people to do their job like they have they don't have children.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from both ways they expect you to perform at full 100%.
Yeah, they demand more time, basically. They demand more time. Yeah.
And if we don't do that, will be criticized or will not be rewarded or will be fired.
Yeah.
Irrespective of our situation. And we are like immigrants.
Yeah.
We stay here because we have visa.
Yeah, we need to safeguard our position. Yeah.
Yeah, safeguard our position. So it's like our existence of survival is dependent on the work.
Yeah.
And if we don't do, if we don't like show policy or like whatever, boast ourselves in a way, it won't work in the corporate world.
Yeah.
And it won't be easy performing those duties and non-duties.
Yeah.
Like, or even just one of them. Like,
Yeah.
Even just being in the corporate world itself.
Yeah.
Which causes the stress.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we balance this? Like, and being devotional at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, because the moment, even for us, the moment we keep saying out that I have done this, I have done that.
Yeah.
That itself brings a certain ego in itself, and we expect some kind of appreciation, reward itself. But once that I word comes out, it brings that mindset of asking for some kind of appreciation.
Yeah.
So how do we balance all of this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now when we are working, we have to work as result oriented, okay, not result attached. So the difference between the karmis and bhaktas, karmis means typical materialistic people who work very aggressively, and as you said, they show off their work, right? Things that they have not done also they want to show off and they want to take credit. So in fact, devotees who are practicing bhakti, they have to excel in their work, and they have to surpass the work of karmis also. You know, we have to work with our 100% capacity. Give your full 100%. You know, when we know this philosophy, okay, anyway, I should not be attached to the results, and you know, in the end, after working so hard, anyway, I have to offer the results to Krishna. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Now let me just do, some lip service. Then let me do some lip service, just for the sake of working or for namesake. Let me do some work. Now we should not be morose and lethargic like that. We should be very efficient. We should be very, we should deliver outstanding results, and we can talk about our results. Externally you are saying that, okay, I have done this, I have achieved this, I have performed this, but internally you know that Krishna is helping you to deliver these results. It is Krishna who is helping you to deliver these results. But to the outside world, you have to use that word. I have done this, I have performed this, you have to use that. Krishna is not saying that in the name of bhakti or to perform bhakti, you don't work very efficiently. Krishna is not saying that. You have to work efficiently. Because if we don't work efficiently and achieve good results, the outside world, what they will think is, oh, these devotees, they spend more time on bhakti and not give good results. They don't perform well and they don't give good results. That's the kind of impression people will have. That's why we should try to excel and in fact surpass the karmis. Then they will think, oh, why this person is able to, how this person is able to deliver so efficiently. So see, when you're practicing bhakti, right, when you're chanting and when you are reading Bhagavad Gita, you will develop this ability, attention, concentration, attention. You will develop these qualities very nicely. And when you are doing your work with these abilities, obviously the results will be better. Yeah.
Balancing all the, like how to balance our competitive energy to work
Yeah.
be able to Krishna.
Yeah. Because we get up early in the morning and then start our sadhana. Huh? We don't waste our time in so many other things like how karmis do. Huh? So we have a lot of time actually. In one sense, sometimes it feels like chanting 16 rounds or whatever number of rounds and reading Bhagavad Gita, coming to the classes like this, going to the temple, participating in the festivals. Sometimes this can feel so much, I'm already working 8 hours or 10 hours at office, and on top of that, if I have to perform bhakti also, oh, this is too much.
When we love somebody, when we love Krishna, then
Yeah.
I think we can go and change. We doesn't feel like we are doing like that.
Yes.
So we will get like it doesn't feel like we are doing on that.
Yeah.
We love Krishna or doing that.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like okay, this or doing that.
Actually, when you are loving somebody, as you said, right, when you love Krishna, you don't distinguish between your corporate work and devotional work. Because both are same. Both are devotional services only. Corporate work is also devotional service. So when you have that awareness, you'll achieve good results. You'll perform well and you'll achieve good results. And in terms of balance, right? You asked about balance. Yeah, balance. So now you cannot take up a job at Amazon and have children and ask this question of balancing. Okay, that's not possible. That's totally not possible. So that's why it's an advice given by senior people in the in ISKCON, right? That you should take up that type of job which does not demand more than 8 hours of your day. See, 8 hours is fine. Okay, and if you expect less than 8 hours, then it's a problem. So 8 hours one should perform. If some work like Amazon is demanding 12 hours from you, then you should start looking up for another job.
Nowadays, all the corporate, because of the pandemic and everything,
Yeah.
everybody is demanding. It's the nature of the work.
Yeah, that's the nature of the world.
It is point.
Yeah. So then you have to wake up 2 hours early.
Even though they don't demand, because of the situations, the team or the company,
Yeah.
the manager, and anything,
Yeah.
you are expected to work more than 8 hours.
Yeah, because the manager is also under pressure. So that's why he puts the team members also under pressure. Because everything trickle downs from the top, right? So if there is no other option, then you wake up 2 hours early. If you are waking up at 8 o'clock, wake up at 6 o'clock. If you are already waking up at 6, wake up at 4 o'clock. Finish your sadhana in the morning and then focus on work. So that's why it's an art. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. How you can include Krishna in whatever you are doing. And when you start performing bhakti, trust me, the time will expand. Time will expand. Same 24 hours, it will feel longer than 24 hours. You will not have 26 hours, right? But the same 24 hours, you will feel longer. Time will expand. See, now 2 years before, you are not coming to the classes like this, you are not going to the temple. What were you doing on Saturday, Sunday? Partying, right? Partying, recreating, vacationing, so many things. But now yeah. But now how you are able to find time? Same 24 hours, same weekend, you are still doing recreation and other things. But you are still coming to classes, you are going to temple, you are doing a lot of services, you are attending festivals, you are doing all these things.
What happens is unnecessary things will get slowly cut off.
Yes.
That's the only reason you will able to make all this.
Yeah, unnecessary things will be cut automatically and Krishna will help you to expand the time. The same 24 hours, Krishna will make it longer. You'll be able to do it. Now look at great examples from the history, right? Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he was a justice. He was a judge in the Supreme Court. He was a judge in the Supreme Court. Now Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he was an exalted Acharya. He wrote so many books, so many kirtans. Now every day, 7 o'clock, if you go to temple, Arati, Gaura Arati, right? 7 o'clock is the Arati in the temple. Every any ISKCON in the world you go, 7 o'clock is a Gaura Arati. Bhakti Vinod Thakur wrote that Arati. So many kirtans, so many books, so much of sadhana. He was a judge. Now, is our job at Amazon more competent or more demanding than the work of a judge? Not at all. And how many children he had? 10? Yeah. Big family. He raised 10 children.
Children like Bhakti's answer is very simple.
Yeah. The children also exalted devotees. Now, Prabhupada's example. Now going back to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Now, because Bhakti Vinod Thakur, his services or his judicial work was so important to British government, to save his time, they laid a railway track from his home to the Supreme Court, so that he can travel fast and does not waste a lot of time. So now Krishna will help with all these things. Now look at Prabhupada's example. Prabhupada had business, he had family, still he wrote Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, all these books. In 10 years he wrote how many books? When he came to the Western countries, in 10 years how many books he wrote? Now we are not able to read Bhagavad Gita in our entire lifetime. Only 700 slokas. We are not able to read in one life. Forget about Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 slokas, Chaitanya Charitamritam, I think about 12,000 slokas, Ramayanam, 25,000 slokas. Forget about those. At least 700 slokas. Bhagavad Gita we are not able to read.
You don't have cell phone over the time.
So,
Because of the educational systems, Prabhuji, because of the educational system, we are making more priority to our education for the scriptures and the Vedas.
yes. Yeah, it's the educational system and it's our conditioning, whatever we have been taught since beginning. Our parents, what is that one thing that parents taught to us? Become an engineer. Very good. Very good. Honestly admitting. Go to America, go to Singapore, go to Australia. Now, parents in India, they don't want to see the children in India. They want children to be in different countries.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure.
Peer pressure for them.
Peer pressure, yeah.
Everybody's children or someone is outside the country.
Yeah.
They go to office, somebody's colleague got a job
Yeah.
in an MNC company. You didn't get a job.
Yeah.
You went to America, Australia, then you have to go the same path.
That's how
Yeah.
the engineering also started. They were just outsourcing support in India.
Yeah.
But they were earning initially 60,000, 70,000 rupees, and the other government jobs are not earning that much. So they started forcing people to go become an engineer.
Yeah.
And they are not doing engineering job though.
Yeah. So,
People doesn't know what is Bhagavad Gita in India. Children doesn't know what is Bhagavad Gita here.
Yeah.
In other countries now they are aware. Ukraine, Russia, now they are having a Bhagavad Gita one subject as a school.
yeah.
But in India, just in Gurukuls only I can find it out. But here in India, that's why because of that we are liking it.
Yeah.
That's spiritual consciousness.
Yeah, see, if we were taught Karmanye Vadikaraste right from elementary school, then our mindset would have been completely different.
The mindset for Bhagavad Gita is only when people die.
Yeah.
That's when the Bhagavad Gita is played in the background.
Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita plays only when somebody dies. Yeah. So that's why this balancing, work and family, all these things, it's an art. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. How you can include Krishna in your life, in whatever you are doing, and how you can still find time, do all these things that you are doing already. It's an art. And you will figure out that art slowly. If not today, don't worry, don't stress out. Slowly you will figure out what works best for you. There's no one single solution that can solve everybody's problem. So you have to figure out what works for you. We have to take inspiration from great acharyas like Bhakti Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, how they balance their work life, and we try to implement those in small steps.
Even in the contemporary times, you'll find so many.
Yeah, even in the contemporary times. Ambarish Prabhu, the Ford company owner, right? So he has such a big business. His time is very very demanding, but still he works on so many projects in ISKCON, big projects, big projects. $600 million project in Mayapur TOVP temple. He's building that. So many services.
Does he come to ISKCON Samavish?
No, he lives in Florida. Sometime in Florida, sometime in Mayapur. Yeah.
This is all the energy of Krishna.
Yeah.
Because of the Krishna energy, can make people connectively go to such.
Yes. Yeah. It's all Krishna's mercy, Acharya's grace. Yeah.
In India also, like other schools that teach this.
Yes. There are even in main cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore. There are Gurukul type of schools. If you go to Mayapur or Vrindavan, there are proper Gurukuls. But in cities also, all metropolitan cities, there are Gurukul type of schools where they teach some academics and some spiritual education. Yeah. Yeah. No, even ISKCON Gurukuls also are there. Yeah.
Pune ISKCON I heard there is a Gurukul and kids go to school.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue. Okay. Now Krishna is saying whether success or failure, ubhay sukruta duskrute tasmad yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. So work in Krishna consciousness. And previous slide we discussed we have to get rid of the doership, proprietorship, enjoyership, controllership mentality. Now this slide here, it summarizes this art of working. Okay. So in chapter 2, remember different sections we discussed right from Karma Kanda, which is the lowest level of working, from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga to Nishkama Karma, and then Bhakti Yoga. So in the beginning, somebody is attached to the fruits of work. Now what happens if somebody is attached to the fruits of work? They go through this repeated birth and death cycle. Now, if you are not attached to the results of the work, and if you perform your work as a yoga, okay, and the yoga has different levels, right? Highest is Bhakti Yoga, but before that there is Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga. So working without being attached to the results becomes Karma Yoga in the very primitive level, and then finally and then it becomes Nishkama Karma Yoga, and then finally Bhakti Yoga. So how does this detachment comes? If somebody asks you to, for example, Vivekananda institution also, they speak about this shloka very very often, Karmanye Vadikaraste. But their understanding of this shloka is not so clear. In fact, this is one of the shlokas which is mostly misunderstood by the general audience. They quote the first two parts, Karmanye Vadikaraste ma phaleju kadachana. And then they don't quote ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangostva karmani. Okay? It's mostly misunderstood. They say you perform your work and do not expect any results. But if somebody says like that, will you be convinced? You will not be convinced. Somebody says that you work and don't expect the results. will not be convinced. So where does this detachment comes? It comes from knowledge. So if you look at this blue box on the leftmost side, detachment comes from jnana, knowledge. So this will be elaborated in great detail in chapter 4. So chapter 3, again Krishna talks about karma yoga. Gives more details about karma, vikarma, akarma, whatever we discussed in summary. Krishna gives more details in chapter 3. And then jnana part is in fourth chapter, transcendental knowledge. Chapter title is transcendental knowledge. So unless you have knowledge or this jnana, it is very difficult to be detached from the results. Okay. Now once you have jnana and you develop this detachment from the fruits of your work, you can work in detachment, and then you will have practical realization. See why Krishna is asking. See, first Krishna gave the knowledge of the soul. The beginning of chapter, Krishna gave knowledge of soul from 2.11 to 2.30. About 19 shlokas, Krishna gave knowledge of soul. And that's only theory. Now after that, Krishna asking Arjuna to work. Why work? Because only when you work, you will be purified. You will be purified of all the anarthas. Now what are the anarthas? The anarthas are doership mentality, proprietorship mentality, enjoyership mentality, all these things. So we have to get rid of these mentalities. So for that we have to work. We have to work and give up the results. So then you will have the practical realization of the soul. Until you work with detachment for the results, you cannot have practical realization of the soul. See, right now we know that we are not the body, we are the soul. But if somebody comes and hits you, you'll cry, right? Because we are still identifying with our body. Now to get practical realization of the soul, you need to work in Nishkama Karma Yoga, be detached from the results, then your mind will be purified, and then you will have a practical realization, self-realization of Atma. Okay? So Atma Jnana and Atma Sakshatkara. Atma Jnana is theory. Atma Sakshatkara is the realization of who you are. That's our goal, right? We are trying to find out who I am. Who am I? Who am I? What's my name in spiritual world? In spiritual world also everybody has a name, by the way. Okay? Spiritual world also everybody has a name. We are trying to figure out what's my name. Who am I? What's my relationship with Krishna? You can be a friend of Krishna. You can be a parent of Krishna. You can be a servant of Krishna. You can be a lover of Krishna. Different relations. Okay? So we are trying to find who am I and what's my relation with Krishna. Now in order to know that, you need to work without attachment to the results, and then you'll have practical realization of the soul. Okay? Not only that, you'll also have knowledge of the Lord. So knowledge of the soul and knowledge of the Lord. And then you'll be able to surrender to the Lord. In any bhakti marg, there are different bhakti margas, right? Different sampradayas have different bhakti margas. Sri Vaishnavas, they have some bhakti marg. Ours is Gaudiya Vaishnava. We have one bhakti marg. Other sampradayas, they have their bhakti margas. But in every bhakti marga, what is that ultimate goal? Surrender. Surrender to God. Even other religions also, the end goal is surrender to God. Surrender to God. And that is Krishna's final instruction in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayisyami masuchaha. Krishna says, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender to me. I will take care of all your sinful reactions. Do not worry. That's what Krishna says. Ma suchaha, do not worry. Okay? So right now we are worried about our papa karma, punya karma, karma, vikarma. We are worried about all these things. But when we surrender to Krishna, then we can be freed from all these reactions. So when we have knowledge of the soul and knowledge of the Lord, then you will be able to surrender to the Lord. Okay? And then finally, we will achieve perfection in bhakti. Okay, gradually situated in prema bhakti. That's the last box here, Now this is at a high level. Okay, this picture, what is showing here, it shows right from the lowest stage in the karma yoga to the topmost stage. Okay, lowest stage is karma kanda, topmost stage is prema bhakti. So the same karma yoga, eventually it will become bhakti yoga. Jnana yoga, eventually it will culminate into bhakti yoga. Ashtanga yoga or hatha yoga, Ashtanga yoga, eventually it has to culminate into bhakti yoga. Now, from the lowest stage to the topmost stage, there are various levels. Okay, and those are explained in further chapters. For example, chapter 12, Krishna explains, what if you are not able to focus your mind on Krishna? Then what you have to do? You have to work for Krishna. And if you are not able to work for Krishna, just offer the results of your work to Krishna. If you are not able to offer the results of your work to Krishna, at least read some scriptures and cultivate knowledge. At least know about God. You're not giving charity, but at least know about God. Read some books and know about God. So like that, different concessions Krishna gives. Just like how a mother feeding to the child is not eating the complete meal in the plate. Child will say, okay, at least eat 2 bites. At least eat dal. If you're not liking sabji and vegetables, at least eat dal. I have put some nice ghee in the dal, it tastes better. At least eat some dal. So like that, there are different levels. So how you can progress through these different levels and reach the perfection? It's an art. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yeah.
The sequence of karma, bhakti, jnana. So how the sequence of karma first and jnana, bhakti, yoga. How the sequence is there, like from low to high.
Yeah.
So first what will come?
So you start with karma and then cultivate knowledge, and both karma and jnana have to go hand in hand. They are like 2 tracks of a railway track. Now, the train will not run without 2 tracks. You need both tracks. Just like that, a sadhaka needs to perform action as well as cultivate knowledge. Because action will so there's action and knowledge, right? So action will fructify knowledge into wisdom. Action, karma, will fructify knowledge, jnana, into vijnana, wisdom. And knowledge will inspire action. Jnana will inspire you to perform karma. Without knowledge, you may be demotivated to work. You need knowledge. And to be situated in knowledge, you need to perform action. Yeah. So both are needed. Karma, jnana, both are needed. And both will culminate in bhakti. Yeah. I mean, bhakti, you can straight away start practicing bhakti yoga. But practicing bhakti yoga is like, for example, fixing your mind on Krishna. Right? Now that's not possible for us now. We cannot fix our mind on Krishna. So unless we get rid of the anarthas in our mind, we cannot fix our mind on Krishna. That's why while practicing to fix our mind on Krishna, you continue to perform your work and cultivate knowledge. And eventually both karma and jnana will culminate into bhakti. Yeah. Then? No, these are all yogas. Karma yoga. Karma yoga means you're performing your karma to connect with God. Jnana yoga means you are cultivating knowledge to connect with God. Bhakti yoga means you are performing bhakti to connect with God. Yeah. Okay. Next. 1:30, right? Yeah, we can have some more discussion. Okay, next sloka. 2.48. Yogastha kuru karmani sangham tyaktva dhananjaya. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. Okay. See, in chapter 1, Arjuna was doing this profit and loss calculation. He was calculating, okay, if I kill the cow, if I kill my kinsman and gain the victory of the kingdom, will I be able to enjoy? I will not be able to enjoy, because when there is nobody, I will not be able to enjoy. Rather, if I don't fight, because I have to kill all these people, so rather if I give up the fighting, if I don't fight, then what will happen? So Arjuna was doing all this what if analysis. What if I do this? What will be the result? What if I don't do this? What will be the result? He was doing all this profit and loss calculation. That's why in all these shlokas, Krishna is saying, both in success and failure, equipoised. Both in success and failure, equipoised, and still perform your work. While you are working, there will be success. Sometimes there will be success, sometimes there will be failure. And don't be discouraged. Continue performing your work in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Such equanimity is called yoga. Now the classic example is from RRR movie, right? Okay, now this is a very serious, interesting question to everyone, to all the movie lovers. Why did Ram Charan recite this shloka? Karmanye vadikaraste. You all saw the movie, right? So when did he recite this shloka, and why did he recite this shloka? He was in the jail. Okay. Yeah.
Why are you doing? You'll be hanged anyway in a day. Nobody's
Yeah.
going to know why nobody's going to rescue me.
Yeah.
Then he says this.
Yeah. Yeah. So why did he recite this shloka? Why not matra sparshastru?
Irrespective of whether I'm going to be saved or not, I'll try my best, and I'll be fit until someone I should at least give a chance for someone to come and rescue me. Right? Like I should not be just give up even without thinking about the result anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be hanged tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I should still be working until tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm still alive until tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I should be doing my job.
Yeah.
And
So I should continue doing my job of escaping from here. Now, in order to escape, he has to work hard, build up his muscles, all those things, right? So he was giving his best with full concentration. Awareness, absorption, attention, everything was there. There's only one day before he can be hanged. But still, he was building up his muscles. And he knows that it's most likely he will fail only. Because the situation was so grave that there is very less hope for him to be saved. There is very less hope. It is only because of Rajamouli he was saved. So, but still he was performing his work. Both failure or success. Huh? Now, whenever you see that movie, you will remember this. Sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. Sangam means attachment. Sangha is attachment. Attachment to the results. Tyaktva means give up. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. Okay. Next shloka. 2.49. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. Oh no. Not this one. I'm thinking 2.49 is also same. Yeah. Durena hyavaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Buddhau sharanam anvicha kripana phalahetavam. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Okay? Now this is another important shloka. So here Krishna is telling how to keep yourself away from abominable activities. As Abhishek asked, right? Choices. So when we have to make choices, we have to choose only that type of work that takes us closer to Krishna. Okay? So technically, as per the devotional service is concerned, we have to perform only akarma, only devotional service. That means we should be a full-time devotee. But it's not possible, right? We cannot, Dhruv is just born. How can I become full-time devotee now? So we cannot become full-time devotee. So then at least in whatever work that we are doing, occupational duties and those three type of works, right? Nitya karma, naimittika karma, apadda karma. Nitya karma is things that you do every day. Naimittika karma means things you like to do. Things you like to do. Apadda karma is emergency work. Okay? Now there is a choice to perform what type of work you want to perform. So here Krishna is saying Durena hyavaram karma. So keep yourself away from abominable activities. That means vikarma. Do not perform sinful activities. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service. Now, what is an abominable activity here? In Arjuna's example, yeah.
Dhananjaya, I'd say Krishna is representing Arjuna, right?
Yeah.
From every shloka, he will represent Arjuna, now Dhananjaya.
Yes.
So what exactly why he is telling us Dhananjaya?
So here in this context, the word Dhananjaya means, it is one of the Arjuna's names. The word Dhananjaya means, Dhanam means wealth. Jaya means one who has gained wealth. Okay? So one who has gained wealth is Dhananjaya. So now Krishna is reminding Arjuna of his name as Dhananjaya because Arjuna, in chapter 1, Arjuna was doing this calculation of success and failure, profit and loss. Okay, if I kill Kauravas and I gain the victory of kingdom, will I enjoy? Rather, it's better for me to beg and live on my begging. He was thinking like this. He was forgetting that he was a Kshatriya. He was forgetting the fact that he was a great Kshatriya. He was forgetting the fact that he can always gain victory. So that's why Krishna is reminding of his situation as Dhananjaya. And sometimes Krishna calls him as Partha, and Kuru. Yadechasi tada Kuru. Because he is reminding, Krishna is reminding Arjuna of the great lineage where he is coming from. Or Bharatarshaba. He's coming from Kaunteya. He's coming from great lineage of, this Kuru dynasty. Because Arjuna was forgetful of his ability. So here Krishna is using the word Kripana, right? Kripana means miser. So who is a miser? Miser is that person who is not using his wealth, mostly wealth, right? Who is not using his wealth at all. Okay, Kanjus, Pisnari, Lobi. So if a person has $1 million, but he is not spending at all, he's not spending for himself, he's not giving any charity, he's not buying anything for his wife, he's not doing anything, he's not eating properly. So he's a kanjus, miser. Because when he dies, he cannot take away anything, right? There is an interesting story in this context of Kripana, miser. Once there was a king. So once there was a king. The king was not a pious person. He was not spiritual, not pious, not religious. So he was very completely karmi, materialistic. He always used to invade neighboring kingdoms and then used to accumulate a lot of wealth. That was his job. So one day, one sadhu, he went to the king. He wanted to teach him a lesson. The sadhu says, "Oh Maharaj, I have two news for you. One good news and one bad news." Now Maharaj is so curious, to see what is good news and what is bad news. The sadhu says, the good news is, the sadhu first tells bad news. The bad news is, you are going to die in 10 days. And the king asks, what is the good news? Sadhu says, you will go to heavenly planets. You will die, but you will go to heavenly planets. Then the sadhu continues, I have another good news and bad news. King asks, what is good news and bad news? In heavenly planet, you will have a nice, big, much bigger palace than what you have now. You're trying to accumulate so much wealth here, but you will have much bigger palace than what you already have here. What is the bad news? There will be a bigger palace than this, but there are mosquitoes. Okay? Then the sadhu continues. I have another good news and bad news. What is the good news? Even though there are mosquitoes, there is a mosquito net. That's the good news. Now what is the bad news? But there's a hole in the mosquito net. And the sadhu continues. I have good news and bad news. What is the good news? That you can, even though there is a hole in the mosquito net, you can take a needle with you when you are going. But what is the bad news? The bad news, the king only figures out. The sadhu does not have to tell. The king only figures out. Hey, wait a minute. How can I take a needle when I'm leaving? How can I take a needle to the heavenly planet when I'm leaving? Then sadhu says, that's the whole point. If you're not able to take even a small needle to the heavenly planet, then why are you accumulating so much of money? Rather, you perform devotional service, do some bhakti and become a devotee. So, that's why we should not be a kripana. We should be a brahmana. The opposite of the word kripana is brahmana. So, kripana is that person, in the example of wealth, person who is not using his wealth, who is not spending his wealth is a kripana. But what is kripana? What is the meaning of kripana in terms of bhakti? Or what is the meaning of the word kripana with regards to the soul, jiva? If we are not utilizing our ability in performing bhakti, then we are a kripana. If you are not performing your prescribed duty, then you are a kripana. If you are not doing your devotional service nicely, you are a kripana, miser. Okay? The ability of the soul is as powerful as the sun. The soul is so much capable that it's uh, as powerful of the sun itself. Now we know how powerful sun is. One ray of sun in the history so far in the history of mankind, whatever the energy, the sunlight or energy, electricity, everything that was consumed so far was only produced by one ray of the sun. Was only produced by one ray of the sun. Now when they say one ray, it can be a fraction of one ray actually. Fraction of one ray of the sun. Now we are worried, right? When the lights are on, oh, we're wasting so much of light. We're not wasting energy. We're only wasting our money. We're spending on electricity bill, that's all. We're not wasting the, sunlight. So the soul is so capable, so much powerful as sun. Soul is capable of doing so much. Now, when the soul is capable of doing so much and we are only doing little bit, that means we are a kripana. We're not performing to the best of our ability. We're not performing to the best of our ability. So that is kripana. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Okay. Now Arjuna at one point he said, it's better for me to live on begging. It's better for me to live on begging. Now what kind of Kshatriya Arjuna was? And he was talking about living on begging. That means he was not using his ability as a Kshatriya. He wanted to give up fighting and then just live on begging. That's why Krishna is saying, oh, you are a Dhananjaya. You are capable of gaining lot of victory. Do not act like a kripana. Okay. Next shloka, 2.50. We already discussed, right? Bhakti yukto jahatiha ube sukrita duskrute tasmat yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. So this is the art of working. Okay. How you can include Krishna in whatever doing, and how you can offer the results of your work to Krishna. It's an art. Okay. So you have to seek some guidance from the seniors. You have to read Bhagavad Gita and figure out this art. There's no one single solution. Okay. Depending on your circumstances, depending on your time, place and circumstances, desha kala patra, every instruction in the scriptures has to be applied in accordance with desha kala patra, time, place and circumstance. You cannot blindly apply every instruction given in scriptures in your life. You have to see time, place and circumstances, desha kala and patra. Okay. I think 2.51 is also similar. Let's see. '51 is also same thing. 52. Yeah. So until 52 it's 147, right? Yeah, I think in 10 minutes we can quickly finish these two shlokas. 51. Karma jambugdi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinah. Janma bandha vinirmukta padam gacchantyanāmayam. Okay. Sri Lakshmi, can you read the translation?
By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of birth in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to the Godhead.
The liberated living entities belong to that place where there are no material miseries. The Bhagavatam says, for one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Mukunda, or the giver of Mukti, the ocean of material world is like the water contained in calf's footprint, Param Padam, or the place where there are no material miseries, or Vaikunta. This is the goal, not the place where there is danger in every step of life. Owing to ignorance, one does not know that this material world is a miserable place where there are dangers at every step. Out of ignorance only, less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situation by fruitive activities, thinking that the resultant actions will make them happy. Yeah, this is a classic thing, right? Owing to ignorance, one does not know that this material world is a miserable place where there are dangers at every step. Padam padam yad vipadam. Out of ignorance only, less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situations by fruitive activities, thinking that resultant actions will make them happy. When we were in India, we were thinking that, okay, if I go to America, I'll be happy. Now in America, if I get green card, I'll be happy. Okay, and after green card, if I do 2 or 3 jobs, no, citizenship, green card, there's not much difference. So you're not so worried about that. It's a naturalization. Yeah. That's what they call it, right? It will happen naturally. So you're not so worried about citizenship. What you are worried about is after getting green card, now how can I do 2 or 3 jobs? You know, after green card, everybody does 2 or 3 jobs or businesses. How can I increase my income?
After income, we do invest.
Yeah. And this is never ending, right? Unlimited. That's what is exactly mentioned here. So less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situation by fruitive activities, thinking that the resultant actions will make them happy. Rather, instead of doing all these things, instead of figuring out what to do to get more happiness, all these things, if you sit in one place and do bhakti, you'll be more happier. You'll be more happier. Just do minimal work, okay, and focus more on bhakti, you'll be more happier. Yeah. They do not know that no kind of material body, okay, I think I'm not sharing for the online people. They do not know that no kind of material body anywhere within the universe can give life without miseries. Now, when we watch movies and learn about heavenly planets, right, Svargaloka, we develop a desire to go to heavenly planets. For many people, liberation means going to heavenly planets only. They do not know about spiritual world and all. For them, liberation means Svargaloka. But Svargaloka is also, it's in the material world only. It's a place of misery. It's my own illusion. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So what is illusion? Illusion means I am this body. I can be happy here. I can be the Lord here. I can be God here. So this is Maya. This is illusion. Okay. But what is Prabhupada saying here? No matter which place you go, no matter which type of body you accumulate, there are miseries everywhere. But one who understands his constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord and thus knows the position of the personality of Godhead, engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Consequently, he becomes qualified to enter into the Vaikuntha planets, where there is neither material, miserable life, nor the influence of time and death. So right now, the time is forcing forcing us. Time is forcing us to do work. Time is forcing us to do work. Time is forcing us to make choices, and based on the choices, we get punya karma or papa karma, and based on the type of karma that we get, we either enjoy or suffer. So time is the main thing. Okay, there are 5 different subject matters in Bhagavad Gita. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. So the time is forcing the nature, and time is forcing the nature to influence the jiva to make choices, to perform karma, and based on the type of karma, the jiva will get either punya karma or papa karma. The result, okay, will be good or bad, and the jiva will either suffer or enjoy. Okay, but all this suffering and enjoyment are mostly suffering in the material world. Mostly suffering will happen because we have forgotten Ishvara there. If we forget Ishvara and only focus on the 4 elements, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala and Karma. If you only focus on these and forget about Ishvara, if we do not include Ishvara in all these things, then that is the root cause of our suffering. But if we become aware that the Prakriti, whose Prakriti it is Ishvara's Prakriti. And Jiva, whose property is Jiva? Ishvara's property. And time, whose time? Krishna's time. In fact, Krishna says, I am time itself. Kalosmi. There is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11. Kalosmi. You might have heard this in Mahabharata serial. Kalosmi. Time I am. Okay, it is Krishna's time. And then karma. So karma, who is influencing the karma? The nature, Prakriti is influencing the karma. Prakriti is influencing the jiva to perform karma. So everything is Krishna's property. So if we include Ishvara in all these 4 elements, then there is no suffering. But the moment we forget Krishna and only focus on these 4 elements, then we will be exploiting only. Okay? So nor the influence of time and death. The influence of time is so important because it is the time that is influencing the nature to force the jivas to perform an action, and based on the action, they are entangled in the material world. To know one's constitutional position means to know also the sublime position of the Lord. One who wrongly thinks that the living entity's position and the Lord position are on the same level is to be understood to be in darkness and therefore unable to engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord. He becomes a Lord himself and thus paves the way for the repetition of birth and death. But one who understands that his position is to serve, transfers himself to the service of the Lord, at one becomes eligible for Vaikuntha Loka. Service for the cause of the Lord is called Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, or in plain words, devotional service to the Lord. Okay? Okay. 52, 53. 52, 53 is homework for you. Okay? You just read the shlokas and read the purports. That is homework for you. Simple homework. Very simple. I'm not asking you to memorize. Just read the shloka, word for word meaning, translation and purport. Okay? 54. And then I think from 54 onwards, Tita Prajna. So People Prabhu already covered those shlokas. I don't know how many showed up that day. 4. Okay. So we can do a quick recap next week and then continue from there. Okay? So, any questions, comments, reflections before we wrap up?
So before the sloka, there was a list of actions both are miseries.
Yeah.
So if I do good karma, then I have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, then why it is called as miseries?
If you do good karma, but the thing is, you will not do good karma all the time, right?
Yeah.
You will do some good karma and lot of bad karma. That's why naturally you will suffer. Only bad karma.
We don't know for Prabhuji whether it means bad karma also we don't know because we doesn't have knowledge of that.
Yeah.
Because of that we are doing bad karma.
Yeah.
Because of the right knowledge, we doesn't have right knowledge.
Yes. Remember this we discussed on day 1. What happens? The question was, Bhagavad Gita is a book. What happens when you read a book? You get knowledge, yeah? Yeah. When you read a book, it sharpens your intelligence. And when you have proper intelligence, you can discriminate between good and bad. So the key is to remember to read Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So when you read Bhagavad Gita, you can discriminate between good and bad. Otherwise, you will just do whatever your mind asks you to do. Yeah. And as Jyoti said, mind always wants to do bad karma only. So what Sudhakar is asking is a hypothetical situation. If I am only doing good work, I'll enjoy only, right? That's only hypothetical situation. It happens only in the dream.
Prabhu is asking if we do some good karma, say,
Yeah.
we'll have like some credits, right?
Yes.
Should we enjoy that? So I think we
Obviously.
enjoy it, but we should not.
You should not be attached.
Understand as us as enjoyer, because the ultimate enjoyer is Krishna.
Yeah.
But why? It won't be misery to me, right? At least.
It won't be misery, but the moment you start enjoying something, you will again incur something, right?
Yeah, I have boundaries.
You can enjoy, but you should not be attached to that enjoyment. See, at work, in the office, right? When you perform nicely, you get promotion, you get some bonus and stocks. So you celebrate that you enjoy, but you should not be attached. Saying that, oh, hey, I did it. I'm the doer. Don't think that way. So I have given my best, and Krishna helped me get the best results. We should think like that. Yeah. Not only thinking like that, you should use some of your money for Krishna. It's not like, okay, I performed my work and Krishna helped me get better results. It's not, yeah. It should not be just at the mental plane. You should be in action also. Bring your checks.
Don't take vacation from Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. Bring your checks. When you're coming to the temple, bring your checks. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
How to master detachment?
Knowledge and attachment for Krishna. So knowledge means what? Knowing about Krishna, learning about Krishna, learning the qualities of Krishna, learning about the form of Krishna. Then you can focus your mind on Krishna. The more you be attached to Krishna, the more you can be detached from the results of your work and from the material things. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not artificially possible to develop detachment from material things. Only when you fill your mind with Krishna and thoughts of Krishna, then you can get rid of thoughts about material world. And the best way to fill our mind with thoughts of Krishna is, what's the best way? Chanting, okay.
Service.
But association, you cannot meet all these people every day.
Service.
Huh? Service, you cannot come to temple like Thursday, every day you cannot come to temple. Smaranam, very good. Yeah. So we have to cultivate, we have to practice and cultivate this Smaranam. Smaranam is one of the 9 limbs of devotional service. Start with Shravanam and Vishnu Smaranam. So, and there are various things how you can do to develop this habit of Smaranam. You know, you can memorize some shlokas, some prayers to remember the form of the Lord and always meditate on those thoughts. Okay, if you develop this practice of shloka memorization throughout the day, you can fill your mind with those thoughts. Okay, take one shloka from anywhere, any scripture, and just try to memorize that. Okay, for a normal person, it takes one full day to memorize the shloka in such a way that nobody can take that away from you at any time in your life. See, memorizing means you can repeat the shloka 10 times, 20 times and just memorize. But after a few days, you may forget that. But if you want to memorize in such a way that nobody can take away that shloka from you in your lifetime, it takes one single day. It takes one full day. In one full day, you have to repeat that shloka like 1,000 times. You have to recite the shloka aloud so that it enters your ears. It enters your ears and registers in your brain. Okay? You have to look at the text. You have to keep hearing, repeating. So many things. So this is the best way to develop this, smaranam. Take some shloka from anywhere or any kirtan, Anamacharya kirtan, Purandar Das kirtan, Kabir Das kirtan, any kirtan that you like. Just meditate on that. Okay?
Everyone has a unique way of doing their bhakti. Even the God realization also.
Yeah.
It's like our instinct will tell us to do that kind of bhakti. Like everyone has a unique way of doing the bhakti.
Yeah.
Somebody will, by seeing others, will think he's doing more bhakti, like doing service, going to the temple.
Yeah.
So, but everybody has its own way of unique. At home also they can do by smarana, also they can do bhakti.
Yes.
But so every has a unique kind of bhakti.
Yeah.
That is also God realized. Instinct will tell us that this is also bhakti. Like, so, just whole day in office also while thinking of Krishna, that is also a kind of bhakti only.
Yeah.
So that is like we should not compare anybody. Like this is only
Yeah, we should not
bhakti.
compare.
We should not, if we go to temple, that
Yes.
is no service, that is
No. If you're going to temple every day, that is only bhakti. No. If you are doing only hard work service, that is only bhakti. If you memorize 1,000 shlokas, that is only bhakti. No, that's also not true. So it's all how much you remember Krishna. It's only one principle. How much you are able to remember Krishna, smarana. That's the only principle which you can do whether you are at home, whether you are in the temple, wherever you are, whether you are at office, wherever you are, the only principle is remembering Krishna. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu vismartavyam na jatuchit sarve vitti nishedasyur etayor eva kinkaraha. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu. Always remember Vishnu or Krishna. Vismartavyam na jatuchit. Never forget Krishna or Vishnu. Sarve vidhi nishedasyur. Sarve vidhi nisheda. Vidhi means the do's. Nisheda means the don'ts. Sarve means all. All do's and don'ts. Sarve vidhi nishedasyur. Etayor eva kinkaraha. These two are, all the rules and regulations, the do's and don'ts, are the servants of the first two principles. What are the first two principles? Smartavyam satatam Vishnu, Vismartavyam najatuchit. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. These are the two principles. Everything else is a servant of these two principles or everything else is a subordinate to these two principles. All the rules and regulations, the do's and don'ts. You have to take bath only then chant. No. If you are able to remember Krishna, or if you are able to chant and remember Krishna without taking bath, that's fine. Taking bath is a rule. But this rule is subordinate to the highest principle of remembering Krishna. Like that, you going to temple, performing hard work of service. These are all do's and don'ts. Everything is subordinate to the two highest principles. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu, vismartavyam najatu chit. Yeah. So no matter what you do, if you are able to remember Krishna and not forget Krishna, whether you are following rules and regulations, it is absolutely fine. Okay? But our process is called as Vaidhi Bhakti Sadhana. Okay? Sadhana Bhakti. Okay? Vaidhi Bhakti Sadhana. So the process itself is starting with rules and regulations. So you learn to practice and you learn to follow the rules and regulations to be able to remember Krishna. Because in the beginning, if you read this shloka in the beginning, if somebody is coming to ISKCON and coincidentally they read this shloka, Smartavyam satatam Vishnu vismartavyam na jatu chit sarve vidhi nishedhasyor etayor eva kinkaraha. Oh, I don't have to follow any rules and regulations. If I just remember Krishna and don't forget Krishna, that is fine. Then it's not fun.
Fool themselves.
Yeah, they'll fool themselves. Okay? So it's not possible for us to develop this smarana without following some rules and regulations. See, the rules and regulations will help you get some discipline. They'll help us get some discipline in our life. Okay? Only without discipline, we can remember ourselves, we can remember our family, we can remember our work, we can remember our building, we can remember our neighbor's building. Our neighbor is selling their home. We can remember only these things. But the rules and regulations will help you bring discipline in your life to remember Krishna. And once you achieve some kind of progress in your bhakti, then the rules and regulations are subordinate to the highest two principles. Yeah. For example, there is an acharya in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya who used to sit in the bathroom and chant. In a very filthy place. Now imagine the olden days bathroom means what kind of bathroom? Not a very clean. Now these days there is no difference between bedroom and bathroom. Bathroom is also very clean here. It's so comfortable, so clean. Somebody can even sleep in the bathroom also.
And they're so big also.
And they're so big. But now those days, olden days, it was a filthy place. But there's a great saintly person who, Jagannath Das Babaji, right? Yeah. Jagannath Das Babaji, who used to sit in Gaurkishore Das Babaji. Yeah, one of them, yeah. Who used to sit in the filthy place and chant. The reason was, nobody will come to the filthy place and disturb him. Now, if you are able to remember Krishna in that situation, the Shastric injunction which says that you have to sit in a nice place and chant, that is the Shastric injunction, right? Shastra says that to chant Krishna's name, the place has to be very neat. Surroundings should be neat, you have to take bath, all these things are there. But if you are able to remember Krishna, now this rule that is given in the Shastra is subordinate to that. Yeah.
So he is successful, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So God has given suggestion, but you have to remember all. That is the main rule, right? So you have to remember all.
Yeah, that's the main. That's the highest principle. Everything else is subordinate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important thing is that we are all like beginners, and that beginning stage is a very long stage.
Yeah.
So let not our instincts fool us.
Yeah.
And let's not cheat ourselves. So that's why the processes are given. That's why it's called sadhana bhakti. Meaning you have to put some effort under the guidance of a realized soul.
Yeah.
Otherwise, our instincts are, if we rely on that, gone.
Yeah, sometimes like our instincts can be right or wrong. Because the instincts are coming from our mind only, right? Instincts are coming from our mind only. And if the mind is not fed properly with the intelligence, then it will be a wrong instinct only. And whatever instinct comes, we think that's correct. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, we'll stop here. Thank you everyone for joining. You continue next week. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Oh yeah, he is also saying. See? Wow. Amazing. Yeah, that was cherry on the